Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? This is your boy Blackfoot, and we're just gonna jump right into it. Reparations. This is a topic that many of us have been listening to, and we have been discussing it among ourselves, and even this man right here, right, uh, Dr. Clark Anderson. I have been listening to him for a while, and some of his speeches. And one thing stuck out in particular when he was saying that when he was on the floor of the House committee and whatnot, and he had a bill for reparations to help black folks. You know what he would say? He would say that when he presented these bills and whatnot to help black folks, he said they would run to the bathroom. Literally, he said that. The black congressional caucus, they would run to the bathroom and just completely ignore him, because he know that he coming for something to help people, to help our people, whatnot. And they be like, oh no, we don't want to hear this. So they'd run to the bathroom, to hide, to dodge him, because they know that it is something due to us, right? And which brings me something. Now, what I just said, that's something on a political level. Now, let me break it on down to the street level on what that is, right? So imagine someone borrow $20 from you, right? And they down on their luck, and they say, hey, can I borrow $20? I got you next week. I need this $20 to do such and such. They're like, okay, cool. They say they got you next week. So next week come and you see this person in Foot Locker buying some new shoes from Jordans or whatever the case may be, right? And you like, oh my God, oh. So you tap him on the shoulder and whatnot. He's surprised to see you. He kind of startled. Be like, oh. Then you come to him nice and calm. You say, hey, man, can I get my $20? Then he give you a spiel, saying, oh man, look, I just bought these shoes. As you can see here, I need some shoes. So, but look, I know I said next week, which is today, and you see me with these shoes, but look, don't even trip. I got you next week because I really need these shoes. You be like, okay, look, you let bygones be bygones. You say, okay, cool. So you and your girl, your lady, saying you at the show at the theater, you watching a good movie and whatnot, and you buying some popcorn, and then next you turn around, you see the same guy who you loaned $20 to, he got a female with him and whatnot. They in here, they in this show in the theater. So now you steamed, right? Now, you said to yourself, oh, he trying to play me. So you don't make a big scene and whatnot. You take your lady to the seats and whatnot. You go to the bathroom, and then next you catch him in the bathroom, and you say, hey, man, I need my $20. So now he giving you another spiel, whatnot. Like, look, I just spent it on this show. This girl, he give you this whole spiel and whatnot. So at this point right here, what would you do? See, this is reparations on the street level. And what I just described to you was reparation with Dr. Clark Anderson, these people dodging you. The dude who owe you the $20, he's dodging you. And the Democratic Party and these political people are dodging you, right? So there's a lot of things that goes in your head, from the street aspects of you saying, hey, look, you trying to play me. You trying to play me like a hoe. You trying to play me as a punk, or whatever the case may be. And so what we do on the streets, we about to go upside your head. But how do you go upside the heads of a politician, right? You could say you're not going to vote. You're not going to say this and that, the other. But guess what? You still not getting your payment. You still not getting your just due if you ignore these politicians. But yet still on the street level, you lay hands on this person right here. You can go in his pocket. You could take his jewelry. You could take them shoes you just saw him buy at Foot Locker, whatever the case may be, right? So you be like, hey, look, I'm finna redeem myself. I'm finna get my money by hook or crook. I'm about to get it out your ass, as we say. So I'm gonna take that gold chain. I'll probably take that jacket you got on. I'm most definitely gonna take these new shoes. Matter of fact, I'm finna go in your pocket, take the rest of it for the inconvenience of all of this. See, this is how we do it on, should I say, on the street level. See, it's quick, it's to the point, you get your reparations. But how do you do this right here? What is the big deal about why we can't get our money about this? Why they won't give us our thing, our just due from what our ancestors have been cheated. And so now we are trying to collect this bill. I mean, even Martin Luther King said this when the March on Washington. He said that we come to get our reparations because the United States of America gave all these immigrants came over here. He said that they was giving them land grants, they was giving them interest-free loan, all types of goodies and giveaways that the United States government gave them off of our ancestral blood money, off of all our pain and suffering. They gave them all of this money, this payment that was due to us. But you say to yourself, now how do we get that? And what caused all this infringement upon our just due? Why is this? So let me try to explain it in my own way, right? Because there's a lot of different ways that we can try to explain it, but it really doesn't matter which way you slice it. When you tap your pocket, as my man Rakim say, when you dig in your pocket, all you dig out is lint. That is the overall theme of it. So it doesn't matter how many or how much word salad comes out of somebody's mouth, or when somebody dodges you. When it's all said and done, you want your money, right? And this is what the Democratic Party are dodging us and whatnot. And you have these other people are tagging along with them like a parasite. They with the Democratic Party like, no, we're not going to get these so-called free men, these so-called FBA or so-called Black Americans, this reparations. Why? Why not? What is the bug up their ass, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm about to show you why there is a bug up their ass, why they won't give us this money. And they're not going to give us this money without just due, as they say. Now, just follow me, right? Here we go. All right. Now, just before, my other video, the sweet spot they have found, these people, the Democratic Party, America or whatnot, they found the sweet spot on why not to give us our money, I'm going to show you that. And that victimhood right there is very pivotal, is very important that we understand the sweet spots of that. See, the victimhood is with them because they realize something that they don't have, but we have as so-called freemen. As you know, that I understand that my native background, but be as it may, that's null and void. The sweet spot they have found to give us, why not to give us something, is because the victimhood. And that victimhood carries a whole lot of weight. Let me show you something here, right? Hold on here. Let me just bring it up. Show you Dr. Clark Anderson. Now let me give you something about a little bit of movie scripts and whatnot here, right? I showed this before, in the movie Warriors, right? Here is Luther from the gang Rogues right here. He just got through shooting Cyrus, right? He shot Cyrus, and now he's making a big to-do out of it, right? He's like, the Warriors did it. The Warriors did it, right? And what he's doing is he putting the blame on the Warriors. He's playing the victim, right? Now, he's pointing at the Warriors like this is the big bad Warriors who did it. Why he chose the Warriors? Beyond me, right? But he is playing the victim. And now this victim right here, he's screaming so loud like, somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me get Cyrus, right? Help me defend Cyrus because the Warriors shot him. Now you see how this victimhood plays on? See, this victimhood gathers, it's like a woman crying for help, right? This woman crying for her help because somebody is bothering her. And instantly, in your mindset, this woman is weaker, she's feeble, somebody big and bullying her, because nobody's going to holler for nothing. Nobody's going to scream help for nothing, And so now you, I would say man or woman, it doesn't matter. But the cry for help, the sensitivity of that propels you in your humanity to help this person. Now, regardless, I didn't realize how powerful the victimhood is, because it's like it transcends religion, it transcends sex, it transcends all type of how you feel, into helping this individual cry for help. I didn't realize how powerful how powerful that is. That when somebody is seeking help, this sensibility, you're going to come to the rescue. So here, this is a prime example, and I'm going to show another example of that, on how this victimhood look at this right here, this warrior guy here, as the big bad wolf who shot Cyrus. So everybody jumped him, as you guys know about the story. They jumped this man here, they beat him, they pretty much killed him. Right? Now let me show you something right here also. In the movie Sicario here, right? And I know you guys, if you haven't seen it, you should see it here. Just a quick little scene right here. That the lady here, where is she? If I can show her. Right here. You know, this FBI agent, she was going to Juarez in Mexico, whatnot. And they had drove around to this scene right here while she was in a car. And she was flabbergasted about seeing these bodies hanging up, right? And so this guy right here, one of the, I don't know what was his position. I think he was a CIA agent here. This guy right here. Let me make sure, see if I get a better shot of his face. It don't matter. But anyway, he was explaining to her, he was saying that, you know, what they have done is beautiful, what they've done, because the mutilation of their bodies must have been something that they have done wrong, right? To cut somebody's head off, to cut somebody's legs off, whatnot, is deserving of such a fate, of deserving of such a death. And see, you in your mindset, you know, you saying to yourself like, wow, whatever they did, they must have deserved that. But really, you don't even know. You know, you just taking their part on the mutilation of this body. And you saying to yourself like, you know, you instantly indulge yourself within the killer who ever done this, right? You actually going on a side that you don't even know what happened of these people right here. You know, hold on here, 20. Make sure I get here. Hold on. You know, you instantly carry on with the side of the person who done this so-called act, right? And you know, it's nothing but a movie, right, y'all? But you know, you like, man, whoever did this, man, they must have deserved. Like, man, you say to yourself, like, what they have done? Oh man, you like, man, that's messed up. What they have done, and really, you don't know what they have done. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter what they have done. Just to say, because nobody really deserved to get their head cut off. I mean, a lot of people, you know, people have done a lot of vicious crimes and whatnot, you know, but the mutilation of a body like this here, you know, people say, like this guy was explaining, you're like, man, it's beautiful what they have done. You know, it's like, you know, it makes you believe that they deserve that. But you see how psychologically damaged that plays on us, you know, the victim, right? And this side, and you know, you be like, man, you say to yourself, how did I get on this side, right? How did I get on this side with the oppressor? How did I get on the side of the woman beater, right? How did I get on this side of the person who are torturing these people? And I'm gonna tell you why. Far as our reparations, right? I'm gonna tell you how a lot of these people, these immigrants, how these foreigners, how they all get on the side of the so-called white supremacy side, right? It's the same scenario right here, right? Of them deserving of death, of them deserving of the so-called free men, Black America, of them deserving of not getting reparations. I'm going to show you how deep this rabbit hole gets. And it's really simple. It's not really that hard. It's really simple on how all these people gather around. They don't even know you. A lot of them come over this country illegal. A lot of them came over here, swimming. They imported them in, and automatically they jump on their side saying, yes, they deserve not to have reparations. And it's the same thing they saying right here. These people right here deserve this mutilation of the body. They instantly go on the side, or they cheerlead the side of the oppressor. And why do they do that, right? Why do they do that? Let me show you right here, right? You guys will see this movie, The Wiz, when Michael Jackson was hung up on there, and you got the scarecrows taunting him, and Michael Jackson, he ain't got no brain and whatnot. But his function was to scare all the scarecrows. But you see he hung up now. The scarecrow is not scared of him, right? So he was doing his job, His functionality is to scare the scarecrow. But the scarecrow see now that he hung up. Who hung him up, right? Who put him there? Now this is all symbolic. But now let me tell you something that is real, right? Michael Jackson represents us not getting reparation, and these people around, these crows or whatnot, they are taunting him. These are symbolic of these other nations and whatnot, saying, yeah, you can't get reparations because you are undone. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't want us to get reparation is the fact that, just like the song, if you ever looked at this movie, you will hear the song, You Can't Win. He's seen the song, You Can't Win, but you can't win, right? I can't sing for dang, right? But how ironic is that, because we as so-called free men, Black Americans, and so on and so forth, we dominate in all the sports. We dominate in all the arenas. We dominate in everything that we do. Boxing, MMA, all type of things, right? And we win. You understand? We beat everybody. Model we model, right? Hands for hands, fist for fist, fist to cuff. We pretty much dominate everything physically, right? Right there's the sweet spot. That's the victimhood, right? I want you to understand that right there. See, when they see you winning in all these sports, when you cut on boxing, even back then in the 60s and whatnot, I remember watching Harlem Nights, and you see Jack Johnson and whatnot, I believe that was his name. You had all the white folks sitting in the front, and you had them all the brothers and sisters in the back, and the white boy got a lick in, the whole white audience jumped up. You're like, yay, yay, yay. He got one little punch and the whole world, the white world, got in a roar, got happy. Just like also in the movie The Great White Hype, they always looking for a white savior, right, to help them win and whatnot, because they've been dominated forever, in the sport league, and everything. And they say to themselves, man, I'm always losing. I'm always, And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the victimhood on why they won't give us reparations, because they is always losing, and therefore they are winning, playing the victimhood of not letting us get reparations. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it, because I have to go.